Hey guys, welcome to this video lecture series on the subject of polymer science and technology. I'm Harsh Panchal, Assistant Professor in Chemical Engineering Department of LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. In previous video, we have concluded the chapter of polymer degradation, in which we have seen different types of the degradation process, such as thermal degradation, mechanical degradation, oxidation degradation, photo degradation, and we have also seen the biological degradation as well. So all of these topics in the degradation process are very important. If you have missed this video, you can find it in the I button on the top of the screen. Now, having said that, let's just focus on the today's topic. Well, in this session, we are going to start with the new chapter in the syllabus of polymer science and technology, and that is processing of the polymers. So, what do we mean by the processing of the polymers? Well, up till now, we have already understand how do we can manufacture polymer. We have understand what are the different chemical reactions that are taking place in order to manufacture polymer in the chapter of the polymer reactions. Then we have also understand different methods of the polymerization. That means how do we can manufacture polymer with the physical aspect of the reaction. And we have seen different techniques that are being used to manufacture different types of the polymer based on their properties. And that thing we have seen in the chapter of techniques of polymerization. So combinedly we can say that now we are very well known that how do we can manufacture our polymers. But when it's come to the practical perspective that how we are going to use this polymer, then the polymer cannot be directly used for a day-to-day life. That's why they need to be converted in some another forms. So doing so, we have to, so in order to achieve this, the polymers or we can say raw polymers need to undergo certain type of the processes. And these processes are known as the unit operations in the polymer science. So in today's topic, we are going to see such type of the polymer processes. As you can see here on the screen that polymer processing is all about the conversion of the polymer into useful article with some desirable shape in a day-to-day life. So in a day-to-day life, to use our polymer, this polymer are need to be arranged or they are need to be reshaped in a regular or we can say desired shape. So this conversion of the raw polymer into a desired shape is known as the polymer processing. So let's understand what are the different types or what are the different topics that can be covered in the polymer processing. As you can see here, there are basically two different types. The first one, where we can see that polymer can be converted into some form such as powder or pellets. So in the first step or we can say in the first step, we are converting our polymer into pellets or in the powder form. And in the later part by different unit processes in the polymer, we convert these pellets or powder into more useful products. So this particular type involves two steps. In a first step, we are creating powders or pellets out of the raw polymer. And then we are using unit processes to convert this powder or pellet form of the polymer into more useful products, right? Polymers that we use in our day-to-day life are the buckets or different type of the plastics, even some metal sheet or the cover of the metal sheet, then transparent case of your mobile phone, then TV cabinets, all are being made of the polymers. But they are not manufactured from the raw polymers, right? We have to process our raw polymer and produce a polymer which of the desired shape. Then if we look at the second type of the polymer processing, in which the processing of converting polymeric material into useful article of desired shape. So in this particular type, here you can see that in this particular type, we are directly converting our raw polymer into desired products, right? So these are the two main categories of the polymer process. Here you can see by the image that in a first step, we are initially converting our raw polymers into the powder or the pellet form like this, right? And in the second type, we are directly converting our polymer into the desired shape of our day-to-day life. So these are the two main classification of the polymer process. Now, depending on this, there are more than one type of the different polymerization techniques by which we can convert our polymer in a desired shape. So as you can see here, for example, hollow plastic like bottle or toys can be fabricated from a number of materials by blow molding, thermoforming and rotational molding. So these are the unit processes, right? Such as blow molding, thermo molding and then rotational molding are the different types of the unit processes that can be done for the manufacturing, or we can say producing our day-to-day life polymer. You can see here, these are the plastic bottles, toys or even buckets are being manufactured by such types of the unit processes. So these are the unit processes or the operation that need to be performed on a raw polymer to convert it into useful polymers. As you can see here, the number of polymer processing techniques increase with the each passing year, and as a newer method are being invented, the older ones are modified. So by passing each of the year, we are now getting new and new polymerization techniques by which we can produce our polymer that can be used in a day-to-day lives. So these are the very researchive topic, or we can say these are the topics in which continuous development or the continuous modification is being taking place in order to replace the older technology with the newer technology. So these are the different techniques that we are going to see throughout this chapter, by which we can convert our raw polymer into the desired polymer, right? Then the extrusion and injection molding are the two of the predominant polymerization processing methods. So these are the basically two main processes that are being used in a day-to-day life nowadays to convert our polymer that can be suitable for the day-to-day lives. So these are the two major type of the unit processes, or we can say polymer processing operations that are performed, right? So let's just quickly understand this molding by mean of one animation, right? Here you can see that I have represented one animation for the manufacturing of the raw material to the conversion of raw polymer into useful polymer. So what I am doing is I am just compressing, or you can say molding our polymer, right? So you can see here this yellow section here. Let me just wait here. You can see that here the yellow section is our raw polymer, right? We are injecting our raw polymer and we are compressing, or you can say molding our raw polymer, and now you can see that this polymer is being formed, right? So this is the injection molding type of the unit process that can be used to convert our raw polymer into useful polymer, right? The green section is our raw polymer, and by injection molding we can see that here we have produced our useful or desired shape of the polymer. So this is the animation for the injection molding. We are going to discuss this injection molding in a more detail in upcoming videos, right? Now, after understanding this, let's just focus on the one technique that is being largely used for the production of the desired shape of polymer, and that is compression molding, right? You can see here this compression molding is being largely used to convert raw polymer into desired shape of the polymer. As you can see here, it is the most common method for the manufacturing of thermosetting type of the polymer, which can withstand higher temperature and higher pressure by molding process. So this is the compression molding technique which is being more suitable for the thermosetting type of the polymer. Now What do we mean by thermosetting polymers? We have already understand in a first chapter. Thermosetting polymers are a kind of polymer which do not undergo any deformation or their shape cannot be changed by application of the heat. Right? If you apply heat to this kind of polymer, they will take one form of the shape, and on a cooling they will not lose their shape. Right? So these are the thermosetting polymers which are independent of the heat effect. So as you can see here, this process consists of compressing the molten resinous material into desired shape by the modes, heat and the pressure. So basically there are three things that we are going to require in a compression molding. The first one is of course the mold, which is the desired shape of the polymer that we need to be produced. Then heat effect and the pressure effect. Combinedly by these two things we can produce any type of the polymer, or we can say any shape of the polymer, right? So this compression molding is mainly dependent on the heat and the temperature effect of the polymer. So as you can see here in this image, these are the different thermosetting polymers that can be manufactured by the help of the compression molding, right? If you heat up any of this polymer, they do not lose their original shape, right? Or we cannot remold them by application of the heat. Either they will be degraded by application of heat or they will deform. So this kind of the material are being known as the thermosetting polymers. And these thermosetting polymers can be undergone through the compression molding. Now let's further discuss some points about this compression molding. As you can see here, in a compression molding, a pre-weighted amount of the material is being loaded into the lower half of the heated mold or the cavity. So here in this particular image, you can see that we are initially injecting our molten form of the polymer like this, right? So this is the molten form of the polymer, and on the top of the which we are inserting our molds that are the desired shape of the polymer. And on the application of the heat and temperature, this molten form of the polymer takes the desired shape of the polymer that we want to produce. So this compression molding is mainly produced by the compression effect of the heavy material, or we can say heavy metal, on the molten form of the polymer. This type of the technique is being largely used to manufacture the thermosetting polymers, right? Thermosetting polymers can be easily undergone through this process, and they can be converted into desired properties, or we can say desired product of the polymer. So let's just quickly revise this today's lecture. We have initiated today's lecture by the importance of the polymer, and we have seen what we have already understand throughout this course of the polymerization technique. And then later we have compared our polymer processing with the other chapters, right? And we have seen why this polymer processing is very important to understand in the polymer science, as it is being useful to convert our raw polymer into the desired shape of the polymer. Then we have seen the major classification of the polymer processing units. After that, we have understand what do we mean by the different compression or the different polymer processing units. And then we have understand what do we mean by the compression molding. In an upcoming video, we will further discuss about the compression molding as well. And we will understand this entire image, and we will see step-by-step procedure of the compression molding. And what are the different steps that we need to be carried out in order to produce useful type of the polymer by means of the compression molding. Now, we will see you in the next video. Till then, keep watching, keep learning. Thank you.